Who's taking the challenge in the chair today? Darling of Celebrities Go Dating, Tom Reed-Wilson.
I'm pretty glass half full, very Panglossian, full of vim and vigour, really.
And Corrie's Jennie McAlpine.
People think I'm like Fizz. But Fizz went to prison, you see, and she married a murderer, and I didn't do that. So, you know, there is a line.
Well, we'll see what the test has to say, shall we, Jenny? Sit yourselves down and strap yourselves in.
This is very comfy.
Are you ready to take the test?
I am ready to take the test.
Oh, lovely.
It's always best to tell the truth in every situation.
Oh, I'd probably go agree, unless it's how do I look, and the answer is fabulous.
I strongly disagree. Everybody says, oh, I'm just being honest, as though that is the greatest virtue. No, manners are more important. In fact, manners are the lubricant for the world.
Putting absolute trust in someone can only end in tears.
No, I think that's a horrible way to live. I trust people. If it all goes wrong, it all goes wrong, but I trust people. So I would strongly disagree with that.
Oh, no, I strongly disagree with you. All the greatest things in life I've found are, alas, the things that make you most vulnerable.
I am the life and soul of the party.
I'm not the person at the party around which the party orbits, but I might have a star turn at the party. But you see, I'm also a guest at a party that thoroughly enjoys other people's star turns. So I couldn't say strongly agree. It would just have to be agree.
I don't like being the centre of attention.
I went and got married at the beginning of this year, and we just went, me, my husband, and my little boy, that was it. The idea of being the centre of attention in the big white dress made me feel a bit sick.
Everyone breaks the law. Criminals are the ones who are dumb enough to get caught.
No, I disagree. I think most people try not to break the law, don't they? Am I really naive?
Well, I have a confession to make. I used to, on a 6-monthly basis, shove a dark chocolate bounty up my sleeve just to keep my hand in. But now I've completely lost my nerve. I can't do that anymore. I mean, I don't condone it, and I am ashamed. Neutral.
I believe most people are courageous.
I strongly agree with that. At Corrie, we've done some interesting stories, and the storyline that we did about Fizz's little girl having cancer, I went round to meet little children who were in hospital in the most horrible circumstances. They were some of the bravest, most incredible people I'd ever met.
I work on the assumption most people have a nasty side which they will reveal at some point.
Definitely not. Strongly disagree. What an horrible way to be waiting for all your friends to reveal that they're really horrible and they hate you. Oh, dear.
Strongly disagree. So my favourite term of endearment is honeybee, because I have a philosophy that the whole world is divided into honeybees and wasps. You see, you might meet lots of honeybees that are very in touch with their sting, and they like to wave their sting around and say, look at my big sting. But really, you know they're a honeybee. And I think you might meet one wasp in a lifetime, but they're very, very rare. So I strongly disagree with you.
I like using long words.
No. Disagree.
I do, and particularly in arguments, because it's quite satisfying to be wildly insulting and the other person not really know how rude you're being.
I think most people who use long words use them to try and sound more intelligent than they are.
There's something really physically delicious about long words as well. They get into the darkest caverns of your mouth, and it's actually a physical sensation. I strongly agree.
I am always forgetting where I put things.
Strongly agree, always. And I also find things in funny places, like the remote control in the fridge. That's happened more than once.
I lose my dental floss every day, and I don't know where I put it because I don't think it ever leaves the bathroom. So then you think in a tiny room like this, I have a very little bathroom, so I don't know how I manage it. In fact, it's when the odds are stacked against me in terms of losing things that I tend to do it the most.
I'm not good at coming up with new ideas.
I am much better, by and large, at being a positive component of some brilliant person's greater intricate idea than being the source of ideas.
It doesn't take much to get me upset.
Strongly agree. I cry at films and telly and adverts and songs and anything, really. I tell you when else I get upset when I'm bored. So I can cry when I'm bored. I cried when I watched James Bond because I was so bored.
I look at Klimt's The Kiss and I'll cry. I watch An Affair to Remember and I'll cry. I hear Omi Ababino Kano and I cry. Ella Fitzgerald and I cry. So it doesn't take much to make me emotional. But then you could also read it as, do you have a thick skin? And I'm not desperately thin-skinned. I agree. I was brutally candid, I think, even about my sort of flirtations with kleptomania.
That's the hardest TV interview I've ever done. I'm more confused than when I started.
Our psych tester Lee has been monitoring their responses and analysing them alongside thousands of other people who've taken the test. It looks at 6 personality traits, including how extroverted our celebrities are.
Although you're a chatty person, you don't like being centre of attention. You see your job as an actor as playing a role rather than using it to seek attention.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Yeah, I see it as just, playing a role. Certainly people can want to become actors to become famous.
Yes.
But that is a pretty tricky road because, most actors I know aren't famous. I got a job 4 episodes when I was 17. I'd been going to loads of other auditions and I was going to go back to my job in Boots.
So you're doing it for the craft rather than the celebrity that came from... Yeah.
Tom, on the other hand, is much more of an outgoing person.
The test results indicated that you were a massive show-off. You love being around other people, you love meeting people. You suggested when you're at a party you like to go around introducing yourself to people.
I do it in spite of shyness.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's a rickety bridge with this wonderful meadow beyond it. And I think, well, I'm not going to let this silly bridge stand in the way. I want to play in the meadow. So I'll go.
The test also looks at how creative our celebrities are. And Jenny comes out as very cautious when it comes to new ideas.
People like this are less inclined to hold extreme views and more likely to enjoy mainstream entertainment.
I love mainstream entertainment. I watch and have been on most quiz shows. I love them. I love reality television. I love other things too, though. And I get cross at people who think that you can either be a Question Time viewer or a Big Brother viewer and you can't be both. Well, I am both.
The results suggest that Tom is much more creative than Jenny, but that he too can be cautious when it comes to original ideas.
And what came through for me was you seem to be really interested in people's ideas.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your own ideas,
That's true. I don't have that faith in my own ideas.
Right. So the ideas are there, but you're holding them back and you're being cautious with those ideas. Would it be safe to say that?
I think that's too flattering. I don't think they're there in the first place.
All right.
The test also scores for friendliness, and Jenny's results indicate that she's a very warm and caring person.
You're very compassionate, sympathetic and in touch with other people's feelings.
Well, now you've said it, because it is hard to describe yourself before someone else describes you. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I'm just wondering why.
Because you sound, like, really big-headed to say, I'm dead compassionate, me. I care about people. Oh, I'm really sensitive. It's just, you sound like a big head.
Yeah. So it's that northern humbleness, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
It's something northern in me.
Yeah.
Tom's responses show he always sees the best in people and has real faith in human nature.
So your test results showed that you were extremely trusting. In its extreme form, it can leave you open to being taken advantage of and possibly being manipulated.
Yes. In the test, there was a question that summed that up. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like, do you think it's worth it to get bruised? And that's really my mantra for life, is that you go out into the world knowing that you will, really, or knowing that you might well, because the things that you care most about are the things that make you most vulnerable. Yes, you might get very hurt, you might, but what's the other option? Being a hermit and not ever putting your head above the parapet, I think.
From the 6 personality traits tested, Tom's standout results suggest that he loves to be the centre of attention, that he's creative, but often prefers to be part of other people's ideas rather than his own. And he's extremely trusting in the world and the people in it, which may sometimes leave him vulnerable to those who don't live up to his expectations. Despite being an actor who's familiar to millions, Jennie comes out as someone who'd rather avoid the limelight whenever she can, that she's very warm and friendly with a lot of time for others, but that she's less open to new ideas than Tom. They've heard the results. Now what do they think about what they've learned?
I don't know if I can do anything about probably the biggest thing that's come out of it, which is that I'm not very good at describing myself. Do you know what? I'm really caring and dead empathetic. I'm dead kind me. I don't think so.
I think I've discovered more accurately what my warts are. But I think the big lesson today is to love myself, warts and all.